Welcome to another episode of Diary of a Wannabe Comedian with me, Belle, a wannabe comedian. What a week. I'm determined not to talk about politics. I'm determined not to talk about the fact that the Prime Minister is getting confused as to whom or what he's calling racist this week. And I've never seen a party conference that's been dominated by total exposure of another party. Of course, I'm referring to Keir Starmer, who decided to suggest, I don't know whether he was suggesting that Nigel Farage is racist or whether UK reform policies are racist or whether anybody that follows or votes for UK reform is racist. Or perhaps a combination of the three. When he was interviewed after his speech, he didn't seem to know either. So, yeah, I'm none the wiser. But what I do know is that it gave incredible exposure to Nigel Farage, who put out a statement directly after the conference and just stole all the headlines. So there you go. I guess that's the way you do politics these days. Of course, the other ignoramus is, what's his name? Lammy. I mean, I'm not sticking up here for anyone, but David Lammy is just so dumb sometimes, suggesting that Nigel was part of Hitler's youth when it was disbanded, 10, 15 years before Nigel was even born. So it's just like, honestly, talk about own goals. They are a ridiculous party. I'm sorry, they are completely ridiculous in every aspect. And given they've now taken themselves down to the level of just chucking out insults, one would suggest they're not even taking themselves seriously anymore. I mean, it's just highly unprofessional. Whatever way you look at it, it is unprofessional to do down your opponents. It's just not, it's not my understanding of democracy. But then, like I say, that whole concept seems to have gone out the window lately, certainly in this country. So anyway, that's the political part of this podcast done. You'll be pleased to know. In terms of the creativity, I went to see King Gong on Monday, which is at the Comedy Store. I think it's the first King Gong, or the first, first event of its type, where comedians get up and they essentially may get gonged off by 3 people in the audience holding red cards. And it's really interesting seeing nobody in the first half got through at all, because you have to last 5 minutes in order to get through to the final. And then they had 4 people in the second half, so they ended up with a final. But it was kind of looking at one stage as though we weren't going to get any finalists at all. The guy who won was the guy who went on last, and it was well deserved. It was well deserved actually between 2. I felt really sorry for the other guy because he was equally as good. But it's interesting to see them both very, very funny, but there's a little bit of, I'm not sure I should be up here with both of their performances. So I took that one away, and I thought, when I do my performance on that stage on Sunday, I'm going to at least own it. And technically I do for those 5 minutes, because I did pay. I feel the Comedy Store is my spiritual home. I really do, because it's like all 80s music. It's all 80s comedians all over the walls. I love it. Absolutely love it in there. One day they are going to pay me to be on that stage rather than me paying them. But, for now, I'm happy to pay them. So that's what I'm doing Sunday. I'm not doing anything new. I've just had so much to deal with. Considering I'm not working, I've just had so much on my plate. It's just ridiculous. And so I've made more excuses, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get up there and do things I know that I can do well, but I'm going to do them on that stage and bring a different dimension to the way I perform and try and own the audience. Because if you're doing a new set, you're not going to own the audience. You're too busy trying to remember what you're going to say and work out whether or not actually it's landing and all that. So no, to hell with it. I'm going to do what I do well and do it to the best of my ability. I went to the cinema today, which is the first time in ages, and I went to see one battle after another. My only comment on that is it's very, very long. It's quite a good movie. Yeah, quite a good movie. I don't really know what to say about it. It's just that it's long. I think if you like the actors involved, I must admit, Sean Penn, he was really good. I haven't seen Sean Penn in anything for years. In fact, the last thing I probably saw him in was, is it Dead Man Walking with Susan Sarandon, about a guy on death row and how he came to God, just before he was put down, whatever you want to say. And he was very good in that, quite powerful. But I remember him being quite young. He's just really good. He really has presence. I don't know what it is. And I don't think he's had huge amounts of work done, because this is what I look at now. I'm pretty sure that, what's his name? I just said his name. No, I didn't say his name, but Leonardo DiCaprio, who's another one in it, he doesn't appear to have an awful lot of work done. Sean Penn's had a little bit, but not huge amounts. The guy that's had loads done, and I have to say, it's been done very well, he was the bad guy in Ghost, and I can't remember his name, but he's had a lot of work done, to the point where you're looking at him and he practically looks the same age but a lot older. It's hard to describe. You're looking at it, it's kind of a double take. It's like, is that him? It really looks like him. It is him. Yeah, he's had a huge amount of work, particularly around his eyes, and he's looking good on it, I have to say. Good work done there. So that's pretty much my week. I will let you know how I get on Sunday. You are obviously welcome to come along. Tickets are available for the minimal price of about £5, £5.50. Alternatively, if you email me, either through my website or just directly on smile@laughingcustard.co.uk, I think it is. Yeah, it's on my website anyway. If you email me, I'll give you a code and you can get your ticket for free. And I promise I won't spam you after that. I just don't want to read out the code on my podcast. I don't think it's fair to the Comedy Store. But yes, certainly contact me and I'll give you a code. Doors open at 2 and kick-off is 2:30. If you do come, then come and say hello. Much love and gratitude.